Hello, people. My name is Daddy Salah, and I'm here again. I know that you see me come to talk to you alone. However, we're going to be having conversations with regards to healing journey, or you can call it a journey to healing. Basically, telling you what it means to prioritize your healing, how to let go of the fear of disappointing others, and choosing yourself. So today, to explore this topic, choosing yourself, I have with me my friend, Oluwatobiloba Akintime.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
When you hear the phrase choosing yourself, what comes to mind?
Choosing yourself. I think at the first thought, you might want to think that it's a very selfish thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had asked me this question maybe some 3 years ago, I've probably have said that you're a very selfish person because you're thinking of only yourself.
Yeah.
But I think Toby of today, if you ask me, like you're asking me right now, I'll say that choosing yourself is like prioritizing yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you full of yourself. It just means that you're placing yourself first. Say prioritizing yourself in that so okay.
So I'd say in the context of abuse,
Mm.
what does choosing yourself mean?
I'll say simply it means saving yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you are in a situation of abuse or going through some kind of traumatic situation,
Yeah.
definitely you have to choose yourself. And that simply means like saving yourself from whatever situation that you're in at that moment. Yes. Basically, that's what.
Okay, thank you for that. So, was there a specific moment at all that you would say that you had to choose yourself?
Mm. Yes. And I'll say that maybe you're trying to dig up some
Mm,
some forgotten past.
I don't mean to.
But yeah, yeah, I'll say that I think 2022, 2021, towards the end of 2021 or 2022 thereabout, was like a time where I decided to actively like choose myself.
Okay.
So little backstory, yeah. I was in this, I don't know if I'll call it a relationship or a situationship, but it was a ship. It wasn't so
It
clear.
was
But it was like a ship. And it got to a point where, yeah, I was invested in it, but it wasn't really clear as to, okay, where was this headed? Right. And because, you've become so invested in this and you're seeing the future there, but at the same time, it's not like it's really a future, but it's kind of blurry. Right. And it got to a stage where I had to decide that no, right, I have to pick myself. I have to choose myself. I literally have to save myself from whatever I think this
was
is,
happening.
whatever is happening. I have to like save myself. It didn't really mean that I was being wicked to the other person
Oh.
or that I was just trying to get out of whatever that was. I was trying to get out. But at the same time, I was literally saving myself because I felt like I was beginning to lose my sense of self worth, self esteem, and the way I looked at myself, to be honest. So I'll say, yeah, that was a moment where I had to choose myself and literally save myself. Yeah.
I think I won't say I can relate, but I totally
Much for that.
I totally understand. But in all of this,
Mm.
how did your healing process start and how did you end up moving past it? Because of course I'm sure that it was a phase that you had to deal with.
Yeah.
So how did your healing journey start?
Ah. To be honest, I can't fully remember how it started. I wouldn't say that, oh, this was something that happened and yeah, everything changed.
Yeah.
Right. But I think as far as I can remember, it started when I just realized that this did not make sense. So I think like that was the first realization. And I think whatever the situation is, that's how it will always be for everyone. Like that realization just really needs to be there. You need to figure it out that this really doesn't make sense. This shouldn't be happening to me. So I think that was the start of my healing journey,
Yeah.
knowing that even before I got out of that, I'll say I started to heal already. Like realizing that I should not be there.
That's the first thing.
Deserve better than this.
Yes.
And I should not be fighting for this in the first place.
Exactly.
Right. So that was like the start of everything. And I'll say to continue, I got the boldness to, just face whatever I was scared of and walk out, walk away. Yeah. Go back.
Yorùbá to say, "Mi ò lè bá bàbá ẹ̀ lọ."
I think that was like the realization. I cannot keep living like
My life cannot mi ò lè bá bàbá ẹ̀ lọ.
yeah. That was it basically.
I think that's one thing that people need to understand. However, coming to that realization is one of the hardest things
Yeah.
that most people find, not just in relationship now. I think more even in like any kind of abusive relationship, work, because you see cases where people are really scared to resign from a toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, they would say that it's not toxic. You're the one. They say Gen Zs are over
Yeah.
calling things, but to be fair, there are toxic workplaces
Mm.
that there are people scared to leave because they are not sure where the next money
Yeah.
will come from. Which, of course, by the time they leave, their mental health is already in shambles. And
Yeah. I also think that a lot of people, we have this fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It feels kind of safe to stay with something that you're already very familiar with. So you're in a toxic relationship, or you're in a friendship that you're not being treated well, or you're in a workplace that is really messing you up. But because you're familiar with that trauma, it's easier to stay than you're used to it. You know how you cope, you know how you manage yourself. So it kind of feels safer than going into unknown waters where you're not really sure what you're going to meet, what's going to happen.
that's called Stockholm syndrome. I not yet. Not yet. I'm on the journey to being an expert, but I know that one of the challenging aspects about choosing yourself is setting boundaries. People find it really hard to set boundaries whether they want to choose themselves. But in your own case, did did you ever feel guilty about setting boundaries or choosing yourself? I mean, not exact guilt, but I mean, did you feel a type of way?
Yes, I'll say that I did feel guilty, especially like at the beginning when I had to make certain decisions. I felt like, I had hurt somebody, I had done something that wasn't so nice. Maybe I could have done some things better at that point. But how did I deal with that? I think over time it became clearer that I made the right decision. And honestly, I think I would say that I'm glad that what happened when it did happen. Because
Ah.
if not, it felt just right to, make that decision and choose myself at the time when I did. It was difficult. It wasn't like a whole walk in the park. I was so happy and bubbly throughout everything. But it was the best decision, and whatever guilt I had or that I felt, it faded away over time. So, yeah, that was really how I was able to deal with the guilt that I felt at that point.
Yeah, I think one thing I picked from what you just said is fine. Guilt to come,
Yeah.
it can be very you can have a lot of discomfort, but sometimes discomfort brings growth.
Yes.
So I totally agree with you. So did choosing yourself change how you see yourself or see your identity? And also, what has been the biggest reward about choosing yourself?
Choosing myself and my identity, I wouldn't say it changed my identity, because thankfully that was something that had been like really solidified. I understood who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, how I see myself did not really change. Circumstances happened, things happened that were not exactly so friendly, but it didn't necessarily change how I saw myself or my identity. But I would say that I picked up really, really valuable lessons that further helped me give up myself or grow into someone that I became even more proud of. Second question, as regards my biggest reward from choosing myself, I'll say that it's the confidence that it has given me. When you're able to really pick up yourself and decide that, no, I'm not going to let this happen to me, or I'm going to choose myself, and you're able to successfully do it once, you build a form of confidence and self worth that this is what I'm going to let happen to me, and this is what I'm not going to let happen to me. So I'll say that as being my biggest reward, because even growing years after, it has still stayed with me. The confidence that I want this, I do not want this to happen to me. Right. So that has been my biggest reward. And I'm solely thankful for that experience. Yeah.
Good. German to say, I know. Okay. What would you say to somebody who is probably going through a rough time, probably in an abusive situation, when at work, relationship, could be family? What would you advise with regards to choosing yourself?
Mm. First of all, I think we all at one point or the other need to choose ourselves. I think that is like point blank, something that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, if you are, I think it's better if I talk to the camera. I like just look whoever needs this message straight in the eye right now.
Okay.
And just tell you that you have to choose yourself at one point in the other. And right now, if you are in any form of relationship at all, or even in any situation that you know that you're not the happiest that you can be, you know that you're not fulfilled with where you are at right now, it is fine to choose yourself. It's not being selfish, it's not being egoistic. It's not thinking of only yourself. It is choosing yourself. It is making sure that your happiness is your topmost priority. Yeah. And whatever it is going to take you, fight for that happiness. Fight for being fulfilled with yourself. Fight for the feeling where you wake up every day and you get up full of joy, not because you are thinking of some form of trauma or you have a heavy heart, because somebody somewhere is just messing you up, or some situation somewhere is just making you feel less of yourself. If for what is worth, try to fight for the feeling where you wake up every morning, you wake up with a clear head, you wake up with a happy spirit, you wake up feeling like you're about to conquer the world. That feeling alone is something to fight for. And if that's the only thing you would ever remember, let that be enough reason why you have to choose yourself and you have to literally fight for yourself. And I really hope this helps you.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful. Um, so I'll just say that to wrap this up, I'll just say that choosing yourself is not a one-time decision.
Mm.
You had to you had to come to a realization where you don't want to be in the space where you are anymore. Like and believe me when I say that it is hard, but I know they always say intentionality, intentionality, intentionality. Brothers and sisters, intentionality sometimes can be very hard. However, especially if there's something you're looking forward to, that could be a motivation. Um, a consistent practice of choosing yourself slowly, calmly, independently is one thing that I think that everyone should consider, especially when your well-being is involved. Because of course, your well-being matters a lot. Once again, thank you so much, Toby.
Thank you.
For being on this conversation.
Thank you for
with me.
having me. It was really nice talking about this today.
Thank you. Until next time, remember that you are worth choosing. And every step forward is a step towards healing, my dear. Have fun.
Bye.